Hello and welcome. This is Dr. Rahul Kashyap and Faizan Nawaz. We are inviting you for GRRSP 2022-23 introduction section. We are very, very excited to have you here today. Faizal, take it away.
So thank you, everyone, and great. It's really, I think, amazing seeing already within this call, we've had at least 10 countries, if not more, joining in from around the world, looking at the interest for something like the Global Remote Research Scholars Program. So the program GRRSP 2022 to 2023 is the introduction session that we're hosting today, both myself, Professor Nawaz, and Dr. Rahul Kashyap. So starting off, Dr. Rahul, you can take care of the slides, I think. So we're looking at the overview of this session. This is going to be sort of a look at what this program is about and what we've built over the past couple of years as GRRSP. So the overview would have the introduction, a glimpse of the program that we're looking at, and how does this program really work? So what the timeline of the program is, followed by some of our very shining alumni who've graduated recently as part of the recent cohort. And we're looking at what has been the impact of GRRSP over the past few years. And then, of course, what is in it for the members and the future GRRSP members who would be joining in for the upcoming batch. So the rewards are something that we'll also be sharing. Moving forward, GRRSP was, something that was founded in 2020. Global Remote Research Scholar Program is the idea of it comes from the need for having an opportunity for the community in learning, promoting, and being a part of research without actually being there in person. And I think that is something which we take pride in, because everything about this program comes from a very remote perspective. Everything that we do here is sort of in a very personalized work from home kind of an environment. And that just means you can have an impact as part of this program wherever you are in any part of the world. Who is this for? So this program is for researchers, for faculty members, and even those who are in their early stages. So this could be resident doctors, medical students, who are learning and maybe completely new to the field of research. So this is the group and the population we work with as part of GRRSP, and it's not just related to just medicine. This goes across people in the field of pharmacy, nursing, PhD, pretty much anyone in healthcare who has an interest in learning about research and being a part of some amazing projects. That's GRRSP for you. And this also goes down to junior faculty members who may be starting in their field, in their residency programs or fellowships, and maybe they'd like to join in and get a new perspective to research. So what is needed from people who join GRRSP? And I think before I even move forward, it's important to know that each of you, as part of the call, have been people we've connected with, we've gone through your backgrounds and selected in a way to be a part of this orientation. So there is no doubt that anyone on this call is someone who cannot be a part of this program, because everything you have right now fulfills the need GRRSP is about. So what you bring to GRRSP is really, instead of your CV and background now, we want qualities. And that means curiosity, willingness to learn, having a need for team-based collaborative learning, and essentially being hard workers, which is a part of any community you join. So the big highlight message, and if there is something that I'd like you to take home, which is no research experience is required from you as part of GRRSP. We start from scratch. We start from a background that is a foundation we build for you. And regardless of how little you know or how much you know about research, this is a place where you can be really shameless in terms of not knowing anything and still being welcome as part of GRRSP. So we've covered the what is GRRSP. The question is, why think about GRRSP? I mean, there's plenty of opportunities and different things going around. what makes GRRSP special? So the answer to that, I think these 4 symbols kind of convey that for you. And some of you might already start getting an idea of what this answer could entail. And to me, when I look at this, I see, there is a strong need of having an environment where you may have ideas, you may have knowledge and skills and potential, and there needs to be a place where you could have it impactfully believed in. And then I think that's one of the first pillars of GRRSP, where we respect the values you bring in for research. You might be interested in a particular specialty or a topic, and that's the idea part. The second part is mentorship. So mentorship means that you could have the best of ideas, but without the right guidance and the experience of faculty members, it's often difficult to bring a project from start till finish. And what we see at GRRSP is where these projects are brought to life, your ideas, your interests, and they're tailored to sort of your future steps, which could be going into residency, going into a next program. So mentorship is an important part of it. And the third pillar would be time. And I think time is something all of us are dependent on in terms of maximizing the work we can do, the results we can bring. Some of us going into residency programs, trying to match somewhere, and it can be a challenge going to a certain place and spending 1 year, 2 years, and still not having the results that you need. So respecting your time is an important part of GRRSP. And that, I think these 3 pictures together give us the program on its own and the need for it. So that's the why. And I think you're also, one really, I think, important truth to the work we've done and what we see is that regardless of how much we give and we see opportunities out there, we're still living in a world where there is inequality. And I think this inequality comes from, coming from different backgrounds. You might be an international medical graduate, an IMG. You might be coming from a different specialty. You might be new, and you compete with others who might have a better privilege, a better background, a better education setting. It means that we're really fighting in a world of inequality, and that means not everyone has the same leveling field. So that's the first part of it. And even when we hear people talking about equality, they do give the ladder and, in essence, the resource for someone like an international medical graduate to build up their experience. But then again, because it's not the same leveled playing field, we're looking at an inequality that is built with a ladder, which really doesn't make much of a difference here. So what we really need, rather than equality, is equity. And equity would mean providing each person with the right amount of support. It's not the same for everyone. We respect that. And then we see a level playing field. And I think that's exactly where GRRSP comes in, because we know that the steps you would need to your own ladder, which are different from other people's paths and your journeys, in getting the same results, which could be the apple in this picture. So how do we do it at GRRSP? Well, it's the idea of it is, let's make sure we're in an environment where we're looking at equality, equity, and justice. And that means through a few strings and a few steps that may be very personal to you, and a hint of networking, and of course, kindness. I think these are some recipes that I have personally seen in Dr. Rahul Kashyap as well, that have been our success story so far at GRRSP. So hopefully these are things that we incorporate and that makes your membership more effective and more productive as a student.
Thank you, Faisal.
So
go ahead.
No problem. So Dr. Rahul, we're looking now at covering, we talked about the what, we've talked about the why. We're now happy to, have you take over the mic and really talk to us about what is the mission behind GRRSP and what are things we can do to get there as a platform. Over to you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Faisal. Really, really appreciate it. So you've heard Dr. Nawaz sharing with you why the reason we are working on this, why we have worked on it last 3 years and so on as well. Our mission is threefold. We want to provide a quality service to our members achieving their goals. And then if we think of whatever their goals are, as far as the research is involved, we can help them achieve their goal. We are thriving for equity, as Faisal has mentioned, and then justice something in future. With your help, once you become a resident, you become a faculty, some of you become a program director, APD, and so on and so forth. With your kindness, with your mindfulness and background of GRSP, will help us create that justice which you're thriving for. Our ultimate goal is to serve the humanity by research and clinical training, making this world a better place. And we pointed out these 6 continents. So basically, we are very inclusive to make sure that anybody who needs help could be helped, and in our journey to create a playing level field. You may be asking, okay, you have talked about why. Let's share how we are planning to do that. And then in this one slide, I want to share you this program at a glance. We anticipate it to be a 26-week long program, 6 months, with 20 sessions included. And we have some gaps in there to make sure that you have enough backup weeks to work on things. At least 6 live lectures, plus few keynote lectures. We invite guest faculty members to give talk about them. Many of our current faculty, current alumni, they have developed expertise in how to do systematic reviews, how to submit to Prospero, and many different things which we bring it to you as well. There's some prerequisite. You'll have online short lectures. You can watch them at any given time. We anticipate to watch you 4 or 5 of these lectures before you start your first session, and then throughout we'll start providing you some of the links to watch it. We don't anticipate for you to listen to us for all the lectures. We only bring high value live lectures to you. There'll be weekly project progress discussion and mentoring, and that is a crux of this program. Through continuous mentoring and feedback, you asking question, bouncing back the ideas, listening other colleagues answering those questions, that's a main crux of it, and that has been the recipe for our success. Of course, we're introducing our biannual conferences. So this batch, which will start on October 1st, will have the opportunity to present your work in biannual conference in March and September. And we plan to have these biannual courses started as well. And then your opportunities and mentoring to submit international conference abstract, manuscript journal submissions, and all those things. So this kind of cover up our program at glance. You'll be taking part of it as you take this journey. We talked about why. We talked about how we're going to do it. And Faisal were smiling when we made these slides. What exactly the program look like? How we're going to achieve all these things as we go forward with it. So let's share this with you. That's the way our programs are going to look like. No, not the empty page, but just to give you an idea that the lectures are in red, yellows are backup weeks, and then greens are your guest lecture. So first 8 weeks would look like this: 7 sessions. You have the first lecture on day 1. Then the second week is going to be research idea discussion. Third week will be another lecture on hypothesis, data type, and study type, just to make you familiarize with some of those things. Then we go into weekly discussion sections, finalization of your research idea. I want to emphasize on 2 points. Faisal did a fantastic job talking about it's remote. You do program from anywhere you are. You're working full time. You're already a research fellow somewhere, or you are at your home or anywhere just preparing for exams. Then that's the first part of the remote part. 2 is you work on your ideas. You don't work on our ideas. You don't work on anybody else's idea. You bring the ideas from the field you want to apply in, and that's the beauty of it. We will help you to find those ideas, combine them together, and help you work on that. Then you'll start writing your 1-page proposal. If the ideas are systematic review, meta-analysis, then working on search strategy, inclusion, exclusion criteria, and so on and so forth. Sometimes these things take time for each team. So there's a backup week 1. Proposal presentation, you do it very fair on Word document, just as a team presentation saying, this is what our proposal look like. And by the time you have already got several feedback from our faculty member. We'll bring our guest lecture at the time to talk about how to write a case report. I think each of you who are working clinically can include other of your colleagues and publish a case report very, very quickly. Then 8th week will be review of included articles to see how does your search criteria is looking like if you're looking for such systematic review meta-analysis. Similar things will look like in week 8 to 14 and then week 15 to 20. So sorry, session 8 to 14 and 15 to 20, that'll have total 26 weeks. Stats concept and how to write a manuscript, Prospero submission, backup weeks, data cleaning, how to review your articles as a guest lecture, how to do scientific presentation, and ultimately you will start writing manuscript in last 5 or 6 weeks, you will get a chance to present your work in a PowerPoint slide for 10 slides or 12 slides as well. And then at the end of the program, you'll have a certificate ceremony for successful completion for those who will successfully complete. So that is going to be the key part. That's where the hardworking, curiosity, and then collaborative teamwork will work in. Of course, this schedule is subject to change, or sometimes we do it a little bit faster, a little bit slower based on each research project as well, but it should give you a glimpse of these 20 sessions with 26 as well. Faisal, take it away.
Vitamin E ka bola.
Hi, can you please mute yourself? We could hear you. Yash, thank you. Faisal, go ahead.
Thank you, Dr. Rahul. I think we have really gone over enough reasons in the sense to, look at what is GRRSP, what are the needs, and why you could benefit from a program like this. Now, enough from me, enough from, all of us here, but rather the more important people, the people who've been a part of this program, we've invited them today as our alumni to speak about their experiences at GRRSP, what did they accomplish, and simply, what they have to say. So the next slides would be actually taken forward by our alumni at GRRSP.
Faisal, is it okay for me to introduce you first and myself
Sure.
as well? All right. So our faculty strength is built on experience of more than 20 plus combined years, more than 500 publications among our faculty members, more than 150 PubMed publications as well. A couple of books has been published. 15 plus is a low number. We'll be touching 25 book chapters now. Multiple grants, national, international awards, presidential citations, and so on and so forth. But more importantly, our faculty members have track record of collaboration, mentoring, and networking. And then just to highlight two of us here, this is Faisal Nawaz. Those who doesn't know him, he has achieved so much than many of us. He's my social media mentor. He has done cool things in collaboration with very prestigious institutions throughout his last 5 years of career, as well as publishing on social media and so on and so forth. Some of us have published, get trained into prestigious institution. We do not represent any institution in this call today, but just to highlight at least few faculty members here, and you get to hear from rest from Faisal. Faisal, take it away.
Thank you, Dr. Rahul. And I think it goes both ways in terms of your background and support that comes into GRRSP. So this is a very diverse set of faculty members, mentorship, role models in the system. And I'm sure even our alumni would be, happy to speak more about their experiences in the next few slides. So happy to see that come over. So whom do we have as our first? Yes, so we have Dr. Ishita Mehra, and Dr. Ishita, please, share a few words and talk about how was this experience for you?
Thank you, Dr. Nawaz. So my experience with GRRSP was in the middle of COVID. Not the middle, actually, the very beginning of COVID. I'd say March 2020 is when it started. And like Dr. Kashyap said, while introducing this program, it's a lot to do with your own ideas and coming up with an idea, sharing it with your mentor or whoever you're assigned to work with, and then it kind of blows up. So my experience was something like that, that I had called Dr. Kashyap with a question about writing a review, like a literature review article on COVID, just to kind of compile all of the data out there, especially with the high volume of research that was coming out of COVID in March and in March 2020 at the time. And he actually, said, let's put together a team of people, and very much like, we're discussing today, putting together a team of people. And at the time, I didn't even imagine what he was talking about, because it was a very foreign idea to me with working with 20 people to write a literature review. But little did I know that he meant doing systematic reviews and meta-analyses and, talking about things that were way, way beyond my understanding at the time. So I had no background understanding of any of those, types of methodologies of research. And so we started from scratch. And we were taught what is a systematic review. These are the resources you need to develop the methodology for it. This is how you use MS Excel for the process. I mean, I'm talking about literally starting from scratch. So we did that. It was not just me. A lot of people that we were working, I mean, I was working with back in that time, people had different kinds of experiences with research. People who were much more comfortable with some of these methodologies were also a part of the project. And so we were able to bounce ideas off of each other and teach each other a little bit as well. And so the product of that was, I don't have an exact number, but I think it was at least 7+ systematic reviews and meta-analyses were published at the end of this endeavor. And they were all spearheaded by different people in the group. It was not just one person who was spearheading all of the projects. So everybody got something major out of that experience of 25-30 weeks that they put in. And everybody did it from the comfort of their home. At the time it was unfortunate because of COVID, but today I look at that as a privilege, and I look at that as a big a big positive of this program, because you can engage in other activities of your life in terms of your job or any other research projects that you may be involved in, and do this at the same time and get the biggest bang for your buck by participating in that. So that was my experience from GRRSP.
Thank you, Dr. Ishita. And I think it's these voices we need to hear more, which are directly experiencing a program like this. So it's been a privilege, having you as part of one of the founding batches back then in 2020. Next up is Dr. Akshat Banga, who is from GRRSP Batch 2. So over to you, Dr. Banga.
Thank you so much, Dr. Nawaz and Dr. Kashyap, for this opportunity and to be here to witness the origin of the new batch. And I would like to start with this opportunity. I was like Ishita said, no experience in research, but from med school, you're reading. When you read any book like Harrison's, Robinson, you see, okay, the citations, and you see, oh, what basically research is. But because in my med school, we didn't have any exposure to research. So there's always that curiosity that, how do they do it? Like, how do they get the data? How do they write it? And oh my God, the way that a paper is written, if you read a good paper, you think about who's writing it and how they're writing it. So I got the opportunity. I came in contact with Dr. Kashyap through one of my very good seniors, and straight on, he added me to a group, and we worked on a review article on gender disparity, because I was very interested in public health and topics related to that. And then I became a part of this group. And when I became a part of this group, I didn't know what to expect from this group. I didn't know where I'm heading into. But 8 months, 9 months now, I know where I stand in terms of building relationships, building the spirit of teamwork, what actually teamwork and networking means. Our group consists people from Brazil, Bangladesh, India, and so on, like US, and residents, medical students from second year onwards. And so how to respect other people, respect their time, respect their ideas. You get from a point where you don't have an idea about what research is, to going into submitting 10 abstracts into a conference, and you don't even know how the time went between those two events. So what you learn from this program, I would stress upon most, is research experience, going from knowing nothing about what research is to building a search strategy, to first of all finding a topic and expressing it. And believe me, this group, your mentors give you that space here to express any idea that you like and tell you if it's good enough. If it's not, then what can make it good. And you always have your opportunity, like you have the opportunity to put on your ideas and work on it and make it worth. Teamwork, of course, leadership, as you can see my background, just a simple idea about violence against healthcare workers led us to create the largest global survey on violence against healthcare workers, and we are in the process of submitting it very soon. So you don't even know like what small ideas can lead to such big things. So that is what I learned here. You learn from everybody. You learn systematic reviews. I learned how to write. I learned how to use, as Ishita said, MS Excel. I didn't know. I was always afraid of numbers. But when I started doing it, I love it so much now. Tableau, Ryan, like so much that you can get from this group, not in just terms of uh, research just, but developing your skill set. And then when you talk about these things, people know, okay, this guy or this girl has really worked in research. They know what in depth of what research is. So that's basically what I wanted to say. And I'm really thankful for this opportunity. And I hope to see you all guys very soon again.
Thank you, Dr. Banga. And I think you really echoed on the words of how this is a space where you really start from, anywhere you can be, and then you shine through. And I think one of your projects, which has now turned out to be a global study of violence against healthcare workers, 5,000 responses collected from different countries around the world. It's an example, all of this done over a few months period. Is an example of the work at GRRSP. So thank you for that. Next up, we have Dr. Gautami, who is joining us from India and was part of the batch GRRSP2. So Dr. Gautami, over to you to share your experiences.
Hi, everyone. So just about me, I'm a medical resident currently in Newark, New Jersey, and we know that residents don't have that much of time to even among each other to do work together, because all of us are in different schedules. Someone is in the ICU, someone is on the floors. So it's not possible for any of us to collaborate together and get something out of it quickly, because there's always someone who is busy. So so I met Rahul through GCSRT, which is basically a Harvard program related to research. And I think it's basically Rahul's outgoing nature. And he posted in the group saying, anyone interested in something related to COVID, you can reach out to me. And then I was like, oh God, so there's someone who can maybe help me out. I already had ideas related to gastroenterology and COVID, and I really needed help with someone to bring it out and to help me and support me in this. And I reached out to him, and I don't know how these months have passed, but we have submitted 4 abstracts out of just the NAFLD project, and it has become such a main thing. It's related to gastroenterology, so it's helping me a lot with my fellowship. And I applied for fellowship this year. Hopefully I match. And Rahul was also kind enough to add me into the Cure ID project. I know some of you may have heard about this. So the amount of confidence that he had in me, and he gives the opportunity. I don't know how. I don't know. I like his nature of giving everyone the opportunity and having confidence in people. And I was like, what does Rahul get out of it? Like, how much does he do? He's half the time he's doing this job. So I think if you're a part of GRSP, I can only tell you there's only progress and there's only positive that you'll get out of it. And the more you put your work in, the more you get out of it. That's all. Rahul's told me in the starting. So you'll have to put in work, because you have to do it. You can't just expect that, you just come in and you're not there half the time, and you don't do it, it's not going to work. You have to put in your share of work, and you'll definitely get the results. And one thing I regretted was not joining this earlier. I wish I knew this earlier. So every time I see all my people in my group who are med students who have just finished med school or all of this, I'm like, I wish I had joined this earlier. I could have got so much out of it. Then, because we have no direction in India. We have no idea about what is research in India. So this is like, and it blows up. It's such a big field, and there's so much that you can keep going forward, and you can always improve. And then there's residency, and I know everyone doesn't want residency, but then there's residency, then there's fellowship, and then people want to get into academic positions, and there's green card. I think that, and at the same time, there's this interest in research that brings people together, and I really like it. And the group, my group was very supportive, because it's not, like I said, it's not possible for me. I'm doing ICUs and then we have floors, and there's no time for, I cannot do it on my own. So the projects that I'm doing, I could only do it because we had these many people working together. It's only possible if these many minds need to work together. Everyone needs to do their small part, so it becomes a whole big thing, and everyone benefits from it. And yeah. I feel sad that Rahul saying that the group is going to end, but then I know that he has some other plans for it. So we'll see what happens. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Gautami. I think it's truly inspiring and refreshing at the same time to see how someone has taken the most out of what this program offered them. And then, like you mentioned, collaboration and people or faculty are here for those opportunities. So happy to see that story from you. Moving on, we have Raktan Kaspa coming in from India as part of the GRRSP batch 2. Raktan, over to you, and happy to hear how your experience has been.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Faisal. Thank you, Dr. Kashyap. I think the presentation was excellent at the beginning. Yeah? So I'm Rakhtan Kasba, as I put a slide here. So I will just basically explain the slide first. So I'm back in January, knowing nothing about anything, like zero. I was on a zero level. So what basically helped me is like to be myself. Like if you have any doubts, like for example, even if you don't know what a mean is, for example, what a mean is just ask. You don't hesitate at anything. You just start with, you just show them like I am at a zero level, I'm at this level, what I need to do. That's the basic thing. So what I gained from GRSP, first thing is I learned to gamble. What does that mean? That means I learned to gamble where to put my time. The main question coming into GRSP is like, is this worth my time? That's the first question. Like, is this basically no fun facts? Is this worth my time or not? To answer that question, it totally depends on you. If you're working hard, if you're giving like for example, we had a systematic review. The main systematic review that I am doing, the first author of this is which is the Bartter syndrome. Huh? I will give that example first. We started that back in January. I'm still writing the discussion section for this particular systematic review. So every day I'm putting at least half an hour in this project. That's coming from January. So this is the amount of hard work you have to give me. So basically I was at a zero level. I didn't even know how to write a commentary article. So coming from zero and building a systematic review, now I'm involved in at least 15 different systematic reviews, at least 15 different systematic reviews. So coming from that, you have to see like, if you put in work here, you will get results. Definitely you will get results. We have Dr. Kashyap where he will definitely get results. So after that, the second point is the building a trust thing. The trusting is a big thing here. For example, if you're not, you have to explain yourself every day. You have to show up in every meeting and you have to explain yourself why you know what you are doing, what you have done, and what you are doing throughout the week. That's the basic thing. You cannot just like disappear full week and you can come on the meetings and like explain. You cannot explain yourself that way. You have to see like, I was looking to this, I went to this, I went to this, and I did this. So that's the basic thing. That's a trust thing. And the last thing I would like to say is, if, for example, what people think coming here is here, mentorship is about holding hands. It's not about holding hands. It's about showing the direction. No mentor is going to hold your hand and tell you like, from basic starting level to this. We don't have that much time. We would love to do that. We would love to not hold people's hand and show them like, do this way, but nobody has that time. I have tried that. I have tried holding people's hand and I have hurt myself with that. We don't have that much time. So the best thing we can do, and trust me, showing you the direction is the best thing we can do. Like, you are going this way, we'll just see. I think I remember messaging Dr. Ishita back in January about the Bartter project. And she was like, I was sensing that she doesn't have that much time. So that is the thing. You have to build a trust here. Nobody is going to hold a hand. Everything is dependent on your hard work and coming back to the projects and collaborating with everyone. Like, it's not about being selfish. Like, I will just get a quick publication from here. We are looking for long-term relationships here. We were building this community. Like, for example, tomorrow I can come to anyone here. Like, I will have any project, and I know that I can trust this guy. How I can trust this guy? Because he has shown up. He has done something. He is working hard in the background. He has some chashni in Urdu. He has some weight in he can do work. So just mention those points. You learn to gamble. You know where you can gamble your time next time. You know how to build trust then, and you know that mentors cannot hold your hands. They will just show you the direction. And the last thing is the question will come, am I going to publish from this? There's only one answer to that particular question. It all depends on you. Everything depends on you. The amount of hard work you put in here, like I will give my example. For example, we had last month we had 3 abstracts accepted from 3 systematic reviews. 2 are accepted in US conference, that gastroenterology conference, and I'm just sitting here. I'm just working hard. I'm doing nothing. I spent $0 on that particular conference. I didn't even know who gave the conference fee for that. So that is the thing. The next this Barta Syndrome project, we had a Brazilian conference where it was accepted as a special something edition. They stamp something something special. There's a very good systematic review. And I think from coming from background as a zero background, and now being able to write the most difficult part of a research paper, that is a discussion section. I think that says something in itself. So I think those are basically my points. I think I have explained my slide, facts about me. I tried to go.
Thank you, Raktan. Just to clarify, we don't teach people how to gamble. He's just talking about the gambling of his time. Go ahead, take away, Faisal.
Thank you. We'll give him the extra points as well for the adorable child picture there. So thank you, Raktan. And all your advice is also just as much applicable to the work at GRRSP. So thank you. Next up is Dr. Tanya Amal, who is coming in from India and has been another, role model for the batch at GRRSP. So Tanya, over to you, and happy to see and hear your experience.
Hi, everyone. So I graduated in 2021 and I came across Dr. Kashyap while I was observing at Mayo Clinic. And so you say BC and AD, right? So there were 2 versions of Tanya, before meeting Dr. Kashyap and after meeting Dr. Kashyap. So the Tanya before meeting Dr. Kashyap was just getting case reports and, some part in some discussion, something nice, but not great. And Tanya, after meeting Dr. Kashyap, was writing systematic reviews, was doing independent meta-analysis, and was a researcher at Mayo. They actually allowed me to be a part of research using public data and everything that they could as an observer. So I saw my value increase manifold after I met him. And I really, blessed that moment when I was told that, just mail Dr. Kashyap that you are interested. So I also remember the first words Dr. Kashyap told me when I expressed my first project, that Tanya, you're going at the speed of 200 miles per hour. We'll slow you down to 5 and then you can go at 2000. And I think as a researcher, that is exactly what all of us need. Some of us are more excited, some of us are less excited. And regardless of that, all of us have to do it, right? So yes, even if you are excited, you're not excited, that does not mean what you're doing will be correct or not. But if you know someone who's going to direct you that, okay, this, and there's usually a very small mistake which all of us are making in whatever we're doing. If you're doing something wholeheartedly, there's usually not a huge mistake that you're doing. You just need that one small nudge in the right direction to get the ball rolling. So, and like as Ratan said, that a mentor will not hold your hand and just spoon feed everything. But I don't know, Dr. Kashyap's videos are sort of like spoon feeding, because they tell you how to write the background. He's just made everything so beautifully organized. And just by going through that and learning from all my peers, I learned to do systematic reviews. I learned to do meta-analysis independently, and I have submitted approximately, I think, 5 manuscripts to conferences, both at Mayo and under Dr. Kashyap, all using Dr. Kashyap's guidance. And it's a great thing. He's so humble. But if you say that, okay, you have been trained by Dr. Kashyap, it's a well-known thing, even everywhere, that your writing methodologies are taught by the Dr. Kashyap. And yes, so this is a place where you have to show up, you have to be interested, and you have to be open to criticism. That is one thing which is very important, because otherwise you're not going to grow. So I think at last I can say that as someone who could not even get her ICMR STS project approved in third year, which is like, I think the basic thing that all the students get. I am in the last 6 months, as I said in my performa, I have grown maybe same or twice as I did in my entire 5.5 years of medical school. So yes, you are the right place and you are all very lucky.
Thank you, Dr. Tanya. And I think your work and just looking at how much it has, gains, case reports, and it's all over different specialties. So if, our members are interested in surgery, internal medicine, pediatrics, psychiatry, you name it, there is a place for you as part of the program. So moving on, we have Dr. Mariam El-Saban, who is joining us from a background of studying in Dubai, and you might be on mute, Mariam, just a reminder.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the group. So you've done a major step by coming here today and joining this first session. So I wanted to share a bit more about myself and what I've learned through GRRSP over the past few months. So I'm from Egypt and I studied medical school in the UAE in Dubai, in Mohammed bin Rashid University, the same university Faisal also graduated from. So can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. And yeah, and then after graduating, I started my pain medicine research at Mayo Clinic in Rochester, in Minnesota. And I'm passionate about anesthesia, medical education, and global health. So over the past few months, I've been able to work with a lot of projects in a big team. And these are some of the highlights that we've been able to do during this short time. So the first one was a review, so looking into neurocritical care and neurotrauma. The second one is working with on an editorial with Dr. Kashif, and both of these are submitted, and now we're waiting for their the responses from the journals. And finally, a systematic review and meta-analysis, which I'm also part of. So what did I gain from GRRSP? First of all, meeting hardworking and talented students and doctors and sharing as well as learning from their experiences. The amount of people that I've met over the past months, I've been just like in awe with everyone, how much they've achieved, how much they're working, and also their talent as well as their passion to the field. And I've also met people from various different backgrounds as well as interests. So in our group, we have people who are interested in surgery, in medicine, in neurology. So it's a very diverse group. And then the second thing is learning how to conduct as well as lead research groups. This is the first time that I'm working on first author papers. So that's a huge step forward for me. And then why would I suggest that other people join GRRSP? Well, as everyone has mentioned so far, and this is in no way an over-exaggeration, I feel like this would be even under selling the group, but Dr. Kashif is one of the most supportive and honest mentors you'll ever meet. He has supported us in so many ways, even beyond the research projects that we're on. As I have no idea how he's managing his time and efforts working with literally dozens and dozens of students and doctors. So whatever his secret is, it's working. And then finally, one fun fact is that I love to ice skate, and I learned that in one summer in Dubai. So you'd think that this is kind of very counterintuitive. And my picture here is of me and my cat. Her name is Sushi. And thanks.
Thank you, Dr. Mariam. That was a delightful, experience sharing, and even also learning how much you've accomplished over, the past few months. And this is an example of, someone who is an international medical graduate, who was a medical student just a few months ago and has achieved so much and is currently looking to sort of match into the US. And all the best for that as well, Dr. Maria. So over to Dr. Kashyap, the impact and the numbers behind GRRSP.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for all sharing your points, and I feel really humbled. But just to put you some rough numbers on our batches, and you'll see international medical graduates and some non-graduates are there as well, faculty members, pre-med, but you see the number of projects and number of publication either published or in process. And this is by any means is an underestimation of the projects going on. I have not even included something which are somebody is taking exams and they put their projects on hold, but kind of gives you an idea that we have a very good success rate in last 3 years in a sense, and that is behind that makes us confident because we have a track record of doing this, helping out others as well, and it's an experience of 20 plus years. Just to highlight some of the publication you would see from all year 2020, 21, and 22, Frontiers, and then other open respiratory medicine, Curious, and so on and so forth. And it just gives you tip of the iceberg because 2 of our man batches are just starting to submit or finish writing it up as well. It's going to blow up by December once we have all these articles get submitted and published. And we have not even included all the accepted conference articles as well. Reward wise, this name might sound familiar here, but just a made up name. But imagine we will start at the end of completion of both our batch number 2 and 3. Will get the certificate of completion, and if you join our batches number 6 as well, and then we are looking we are in talks with a couple of universities around the world to see if they can help us make it part of their portfolio as well, and then you could be given some of these certificates through them as well. Other benefits or what is total in for you as we get to the end of this presentation and open up for questions answer. So the most benefit you'll get out from is a structured clinical research training. That's it. That's the biggest USP or unique selling point. You'll get hands-on experience by doing these clinical research, not just listening in a sense. We believe in that you bring up your idea, you become the first author, you become the co-author and publication. You're not just added there as well. You will get the mentoring, as many of our alumni and faculty members have shared today. We provide opportunities for networking, help each other out in that regard. You will have experience of collaborative teamwork in that sense. You will develop soft skills, how to work in teams, how to present your work, how to be a public speaker, how to write an abstract, how to be a Zoom meeting, all those Excel sheet, how to do analysis by yourself for a simple analysis, how to create your infographics and things like that. And last but not least, you'll develop this lifelong relationship. You saw that our chief residents who finished the program, they're still with us. We lean on them. We pick up a call and talk to them saying, hey, what are you doing? How can I help you? Or they call in, hey, Dr. Kashyap, I need help on this. Can somebody work on these projects? So this is one of the things, starting from a structured clinical research training till lifelong relationship. That's the most benefit you get out from this program. So at this point, I would like to end the recording. Those who are watching our channel, please like and subscribe, and we will bring you back the next part of it as well.